All right. Now, everybody, pretend like we weren't already here. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me on today's Written Wednesday. Where we last left off, I was writing very little and trying to pass it off as content. All right. Eagles, I have a paid account here. Oh, paid account. My goodness. These are one of the things that my Patreon buys. Oh man, that's really cool. I've actually been trying to think about Patreon and stuff like that, but I couldn't think of rewards or what anybody would like. Do forgive me. Again, the sinus infection I was telling you guys about earlier. I will be slowly dying as the stream progresses. But a paid account. Maybe one of these days when I actually do art with Picardo, I can do a dual stream with you if you'd permit such a thing. I know I'm nowhere near as talented in the medium of digital arts as you. You are an immaculate chameleon of style when it comes to the Out of Placers universe. Because unless I look at the name of who uploads what, I can lose track of whether Val uploaded a Yinglet picture or it's you. Your stuff looks so spot on. It is incredible, and you have nothing short of my total admiration. Now, Sush had made an interesting point either last time or the time before. I didn't go back and rewatch it, and eventually I'm going to start uploading these to YouTube. But I was overusing a quirk for a character. I have Rolfians, the big bad guys of this, excuse me, as a method of intimidation. They hiss their S's in a very predatory and unsettling manner. Unfortunately, I had done it to the point of ridiculousness, and it kind of lessened the character and made them seem goofy. You mentioned this every stream. Well, I forgot since the last stream. I'm also sick. My head's plugged up. I'm just covering my bases and giving you your propers. But that goes into... oh, hey, Joey. That goes into a bit about writing characters, because, again, you want to find a voice for your characters. I know Val does this very good. Whenever Cesra does a comic, this goes very good. Or she does this very good. Or in most literary works, people will find a way to express a character through either the way they talk or a speaking quirk that lets the reader hear that voice immediately when reading, and it helps pull them into the universe. So what you want to do, myself, I'll usually think of a way that the character speaks or what weird quirk they'll have before writing them. I usually, off on a tangent here, straight about a character themselves, I'll think of their flaws first because I find flaws interesting. But I can kind of, well, I have to watch myself, because if I'm not careful, forgive the stuttering there, we're buffering. I'm still working on a dial-up modem for myself. But if I'm not careful, I'll make a character too flawed, or I'll focus too much on the flaws, and there won't be much of a character to go on. So find your character's voice first, so you can hear them and feel them when you're writing for them, and they'll usually guide you. Now, I'm going to see where's the last place we left off. Sush, since you are so knowledgeable, what was I writing last time? Whereabouts did we get? I want to see where I left off here, and then I'll do a recap, a rereading. I don't know. Ha ha! You have been bested, Noodle Girl. I don't even know what your book is. Ooh! I've been wounded. My tiny, tiny ego. Alright, I thought building personalities were more important, developing the character. Well, true, but from the voice comes the personality. If you know how they speak, you have to think about how they are as a person. How they develop, why they speak that way. But once you hear that voice, the voice usually starts, when you write down, you give them their narration, their diction, what they're saying. Once you have the content with the voice, it kind of starts, they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't do this. And it sort of permutates into the character developing themselves. Like, again, I'm not dissing the idea of sitting down and working out the character first, but you can kind of use the way they speak to help influence it. Yeah, it flows. You find the way they sound, what they'd say, what they wouldn't say, and through the voice you start getting a sense of the character, and then you can take and use, I guess, external sessions where you just sit down and think, okay, pure character, where's this character from? What am I going to do with this? Sush, you are both my hardest critic and my best source of comedy. So I'm going to start from here. You have lost the right to use big boy words. Here, hang on. I'm going to use executive privilege here. And... No, I haven't! The hostage Medean hadn't... Okay, there we go. The hostage Medean... Oh, no, I don't like the way that... See? Always reread your own works. Because reading it aloud, you'll get a flow for it. You'll see what flows, what sounds good, and what doesn't. Because when I'm alone and I'm not filming and I start trying to write my own stuff, it'll sound good up here, or I'll come up with two versions of the same sentence. And instead of picking one, my brain just subconsciously mashes both of them together, and I get some horribly mishmash mess that doesn't make any sense. Oh, Sush, I don't want any trouble. Put the gun away. So yeah, reread your stuff as much as possible, read it to as many people as possible, and get other opinions. And, like arguments, like debating, like talking with someone, never go in to prove you're right. Whenever you have someone read your book, always be willing to be proven wrong and take criticism or different ideas. Because at one point, yes, like the cornerstone here, you want to be true to your vision, you want to be true to what you're writing and what's up here. But to another point, you're not writing this just for you. You do want to keep the audience's feedback in mind. And if you have friends reading over it who give good feedback, that's rare. You'll have a lot of people who don't want to hurt feelings and will just tell you that your work's good. But when you have people who say, I'd change this, or I don't like the way this reads, or I don't like the wording here, this is a bit too long, I think you dwell on this too long, consider it. Take it, set it aside, and objectively look over your work, because they're not trying to attack you. This is probably the easiest little microcosm of critique you're going to get before you put all the time into printing copies and releasing online and then just getting an overwhelming tidal wave of negative feedback. So practice, 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 reread. The Medean hostage hadn't even the time to right himself before the second group of Rolfians had arrived, and only had a moment before they were all but on top of him. In a valiant effort, the standing operative would would place a hand to the shoulder of the distressed fellow and attempt to effect a retreat, all the while opening fire on Maud and her approaching party. Okay, this sentence is a bit too long. But under a renewed hail of laser fire, he stood little chance. Feels like a fragment, but I'm going to leave that for now. His personal barriers would absorb most of the rounds, allowing their terrible heat to splash over him. Reread. Him without much harm. But the body of a Rolfian, who had become emboldened at the thought of capturing a Special Forces operative for his own pleasure, had proven enough. What? See, the two sentences thing here. Had proved too great. Sush. The point is, they are a very unpleasant species and they're to be feared and seem vile and horrible. So yeah, there is going to be a bit of a, I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't want them to do it kind of feel to it. This is a this is a level of noodle I did not expect. We've gone maximum noodle. Within a fraction of a second. Hang on. Sweet Kleenex, deliver me from evil. Within a fraction of a second, the beast was atop him, some 8 feet away, slashing at him with horrific claws, dead set on reaching the soft center behind the armor. And I put in, my novel is slowly turning into Goblin Slayer. No, because then you'd like it, Mrs. Anime. And I put an H in here to give it a throatier kind of sound for it. Get up! Growled Maud, forcing her attention away from her would-be. Yeah, okay, no, because, okay. Before this, I mentioned Maud looking at people like the butchery she does with her claws as an artistic expression, and she sees them as ways to want to express herself to horrify other people. So, Maud growled, forcing her attention away from her would-be canvases. Yeah, pretty much like that. Little stabby swoosh. A rough claw founds... Ooh, I could tell I was up at 4 in the morning for that one. A rough claw found its way to Plaid's, pulling her back to her feet whilst Maud's other hand roughly clamped down on the short figure as he attempted to run. Geysers of fire washed over the hill which housed the tunnel entrance as the bulk of her now invigorated followers slammed against the human commandos, wrenching their weapons from them in powerful swipes or hurling them several feet as they tackled them. I'm going to have to put some punctuation in there. The commandos, we don't need human in there. Yeah, my main problem is I write the way I talk, and I have a rather large lung capacity. Like, okay, this is a habit that developed in 2nd grade and has been with me my whole life, alright? I used to write in monstrous sentences, and my 2nd grade teacher said, alright, Caleb, this is a comma. I want you to use these. Only write as long as you can say in one, only write as much as you can say in one breath. So instead of taking this comma, which I abuse liberally now in my later years, but instead of taking the smart way out and using a comma, I thought, oh, she's given me a loophole. If I just build my lung capacity so I can take bigger breaths and read longer sentences, I won't have to change a thing. So I'd shorten my sentences very, very slightly and just worked holding... Yes, I know. And you can facepalm, but my teacher caught wind to it too, or wise to it too, because a couple of days later, she'd be like, Caleb, your sentences are the exact same. And she'd hear me anytime before I'd start reading go, and then just go through and read. And she's like, Caleb, come here, sit down. The point was for you to learn to use commas. Why are you taking such a deep breath? You've not implemented the commas. And I'd go, well, Mrs. Lennox-Zerby, you said only read as much as I can say in a breath, and I've been working on taking bigger breaths. I was proud of myself. And, of course, the true Picard maneuver popped into effect, and she said, okay, commas. Let's put some commas here and there. And then ever since I've been sort of a little bit more apt to use commas, but I still have this bad habit of throwing monstrous sentences together. Okay. Physically, the Rolfian attackers were easily the superiors, but what the others lacked in might, they more than made up for in valor and courage. Drawing strength to protect another, excuse me. Drawing strength to protect another was a thing wholly alien to the snarling monstrosities. The better nature of man was something they could not understand, or the blind feats that it could create. For the humans here, this was the keeping of a promise to the Palamda people, and to themselves, politics of the situation and their clientship to the Palamda aside, it spoke to something fundamental to their being. No matter what new and inventive way had been devised to reward or excuse moral laziness or oppose and I'm going to try that again, sorry. My eyes are a little blurry. No matter what new and inventive way had been devised to reward or excuse moral laziness or oppose and detract from the axiom of their nobility, in their many centuries of development, the true tenets of their nature always endured. It's not politics. Need to italic that. And Control-I. Grammar. The Palamda, and their trust in them, had served as the catalyst which demanded the commandos hold their ground, for in all their centuries, in all their wars, and all their social turmoils, they had learned that tyranny was not stopped by tyranny, but when swords were raised in the name of a unifying and undeniable decency among all peoples. For the ESG, the weight of 1,000 worlds across many more thousands of species would hang in the balance. They were the silent hand which rocked the cradle, who patted the head of the sleeping Tauren. Doesn't need to be italic. Oh, of course, autosave well. And who patted the head of the sleeping Tauren child, and whispered promises of safety as they dreamed. The expectations for nothing short of excellence were needed now more than ever, as no operative was naive to the potential of what lied within the ruins. The commandos who had not been disarmed responded with renewed vigor as their densely hided opponents grew even nearer. Near microscopic motors all spoke within the armor of the commandos, summoning their already augmented strength to greater heights. Those who had lost their weapons or were knocked down sprang back to their feet, clutching steely knives or small sidearms, lending their voices to the fray. As the Rolfians got too close to effectively use their rifles, the men who'd had the fortune to keep their grips turned to wield them as clubs, sending tooth fragment and slobber dancing through the air. And now we write action. And no, the reason I included the small break there that speak of the better nature of man is I don't want to have a fragmented tone in my story. And I might have touched on this last episode, but I start the book with a look into what I'm trying to do with this universe and how this is an uplifting sort of story set in a near utopian society, because I think there's too much doom, gloom, and post-apocalypse and all this other low-effort nonsense that just speaks to just random hedonism in today's media. I want to try and set up something positive, something optimistic. Now, this fight scene, of course, is happening in the middle of this book, and I don't want the original point to be forgotten as I dwell on this big battle going on in the center of the book and feel like, oh, hey, what happened to that beginning half? That was a totally different book. And have people who are looking for what the front was trying to say, the beginning of the book, and then people who are just in it for the action. So, keeping an eye on tone is something that's going to help for any fledgling writer, I suppose. You're writing up noodles. Well, the noodles aren't going to be in every episode. They're just set up because I'm setting some stuff up later. Hey, Hedge. And I have my Coke Zero here because everybody has their vice. What are noodles? Noodles are what Sush has taken to calling the Rolfians. I'm just gonna boop-a-doop. Lift the big old water cup up here because I should probably be drinking water as well as soda. Don't want to try and get over this sinus infection. Speaking of which, I'm dying. I'm gonna have to open up my files. Where's a thing? There we go. And look at the map, which Sush hates so much, to remember what direction this is. Paint. And yeah, any notes you take, any diagrams you can draw down, they'll help immeasurably, but you'll notice there's a difference between my first stream and all these corresponding streams in which I don't really bring my page of notes with me. Secretly go, shh, don't tell them my secret. But I don't really bring them with me anymore because they form a good guideline. And if you can sit down and plan out a chapter, it helps to give you a loose idea of what you're doing, but never treat your own notes as gospel. I have all these images I'll take and I'll save because they inspire me, or little quotes I write down because I like something about them. But I never... Well, first of all, you never go full on it because that's plagiarism. But you never treat your notes or the things you write down as something you can't flex or bend from, because then that starts to put a weight on your creativity. You're stifling yourself. Now let's see. What direction was that? That is the east. East. E. Outdated memes. Thank you very much. All the while, the goofier and sillier I act, the more Cesarus just sort of sits there contemplating the fact that, oh wow, I'm going to be rooming with this guy at Megaplex. How much cyanide should I bring? What have I done? How many did I say there were? That's entirely too silly. That's only because my alarm clock is broken. And you can bet your tuchus I'm going to take that alarm clock with me when I get it fixed. Sush, you are a very interesting individual to have in stream. Hey, Ethan. What do you mean, speak of the devil? No one was talking about him. Oh, you asked me? Oh, I hadn't noticed. Let me, can I scroll up here? Oh, God, no. Oh, my God, no. You'd kill him. He would literally die. Going to give you a heads up. Or should we guess? No. You don't have to make a separate thing. I'll just say I'll just say no to the call. That's fine. Thank you though. I appreciate the offer and the warning. Garbo Dindin is the name of a chat in Skype, and my sister coined the term. She has very interesting ways of coming up with stuff. Like, she'll just ramshackle together words, and there was nothing in the house that she wanted to eat that night, and she knew whatever she put together wasn't going to be healthy, and she just chose to snack. And having all these chips and these snacky foods together, she's just like, I guess I'm just going to have a Garbo Dindin tonight. And just walked off to her room. Serious as you could be. And it absolutely killed me. And we're having the first. I don't like how that sentence is structured. What? Maelstrom? It's a storm vortex at sea. It's flowery prose to want to try and, I guess, less directly say the sentence. Oh, Keck. It's kind of a 4chan way to say LOL, I think. Alright, see you later, Joey. Thanks for showing up. I didn't know Ethan was that trashy. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Hedge, I'm calling bull hockey. We all know Ethan's a mongoloid. A little garbage gremlin. But not Garbo Din Din Trashy. Yeah. He's like 3 packets of combos, Mountain Dew, and Doritos away from being a whole Garbo banquet. She's so disappointed she just had a stroke on the keyboard. Well, I tried English. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, hey, you know what? That's hardly the worst I've seen, because there's still people out there who, for some inexplicable, infuriating reason, don't know the difference between there, and there. So yeah, no, flip-flopping 2 letters, I absolve you. Look, it is, I have preordained it that it never happened. I have healed you. Hitchy, cough, cough, Joey. I wonder if they're still called Walking Dead if it's only dead from the neck up. In which case, I'm pretty sure most of Congress would classify as the Walking Dead. Yeah, that's flip-flopping letters on occasion. I've accidentally written an entire sentence backwards once. My brain is weird. Hi, I am a disappointment. Hedge types, oop, Ethan. And meanwhile at OOP, Cesar and I both chuckle. Stupid. No, I see the spelling mistake there. My keys kind of stick and put in double letters. I hate typing. You're never gonna get to, you're not gonna get far in life not typing, Ethan. Alright, I'm going to have to tap the chat here and say behave to everybody. sorry, by the way, if there's an abundance of background noise this time. How's everybody enjoying the stream so far? I know I've typed a grand total of 2 sentences about. Oh, by the way, Ethan, please do remind Gidge to keep it down. Or at the very least, mind her language while I'm streaming. Thank you, Sesra. The only positive emotional support I have in the chat. Everyone else is just like, stab him while he is weak. Oh god, I'm getting the Ellum treatment. And to that I'm grateful. Is smug in silence. Sush, I can feel the smugness from the chat just burning and eroding a hole in the side of my head. Well, I appreciate that you're here, Hedge. Okay. I don't need words. In fact, I'm so great I can barely read. Sush, I don't think it works like that. I love the little emojis, though. Those make the chat. I really wish that we could import emojis, because I'd love to see some of these Sesra ones. You can't... Oh, boy. I haven't uploaded them. Oh, boy! And you do have a paid account, so that might be something in the future. So I can visually see how uninvested Sesra is while she's trying to support me writing this potato. Oh, no. No, you're doing a good job. It's okay. Oh, hi, Mark. Wait, you have 2 internets? Oh. Well, way to go, Hedge. Multitask. Boom feels like a childish word. It's 2 words. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna put a hyphen there because I don't like having that word alone in my book. Feels weird. Oh, you guys are just talking about tech stuff. Well, I'm glad you guys are getting along. Oh boy. And now the hard part. Yeah, I've been doing research into this, and a part of writing is forcing yourself to sit down and taking the time to say, I will write something today, because otherwise you'll just lose interest in the project entirely. But that said, you can't force yourself to write a whole book. I've been looking into flow states, and I'm researching the topic, and I've always just called it being in the zone, and most other people do. And I've been trying to get better at locking into that, but occasionally I'll hit these little hiccups, and I'll know what I'm trying to say, but I won't know how to say it. Nope, that becomes a word today. Unshrouded. Unshrouded. I need another word from Hill. I'm abusing this word. Really, Hedge? Really? Really? Hardwired. Who is... Would that be a Coyote Feather who's joining us? Survey says... Come on, Hardwired. You gotta say something. I'm giving a survey... Or I'm giving a drum roll here that's shaking my laptop. Who are ya? It's you! I thought so! Coyote! Howdy! Glad to have you in the stream, and I'm glad I'm still going. So, oh, cool, you have a little emote. That's so cool. Just so you know, I've been... a neutron spray. Basically, I have neutron pistols being the primary weapon of the UCASC forces. So neutron spray is just a lot of them. I'm trying to paint the mental image of a tidal wave crashing down on them. And science be damned, neutron pistol just sounds cool. I don't do this often because I don't like demanding a lot in order to get the suspension of disbelief from my audience. I try and think everything out nuts and bolts wise on how it works. But to another degree, there are some areas where it just has to work because it works, because I'm writing fiction, not a guideline for an actual futuristic way to get your paint job on your futuristic car. I like that. Hedge, you have... by the power of Magic Time Lord Ring, I award you the best comment of the stream. I'm sorry, Sush, you've been dethroned right now. Just be useless, Dutch. Yeah, no, sorry, no. This is why you have lost the comment war. Sorry, you have lost the chat. Hedge, you win. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have a new victor. I'm calling it now. 2/3 stream's mine. Okay. Boop-a-doo-boop. The Kick Some Assy stream is still contested because Sush had some good zingers in that one. I'll be fair. I'll be fair with that one. The Noods, Noods, that one is also Sush. So it is a perpetual battle of who gets the best comment, because we all know the fat guy in the necktie is by no means entertaining. That's something interesting to have yelled in the background. No, we had well, the three people who aren't on a diet had mozzarella sticks. Or maybe I won't send you the new version of my game then. Alright, so, continuing along. Oh, by the way, Coyote, we had filmed the beginning of... Oh, I see lots of... Oh my god! Cesra, you're no longer alone. We have the second person performing emotional support. The only other voice of positive reinforcement we have here in the chat. I'm so loved. I don't have to seek attention from tribbles. The batteries died. How am I supposed to get this open to put in new batteries? This is a stream of mind-boggling disappointment. Oh my god, yes, I've got tons and tons of triples. God, I hope I don't have to cut this thing open. This is an official, like, licensed actual product. No, Boris the Dribble is not no more. He is very simply sick like I am. He's lost his voice. I have a sinus infection. I know, I'm looking for Velcro here. Oh, up. Is... Yeah, we've gone from a writing stream to just watching Sasquatch try and open a small ball of hair. Oh. Oh dear. It almost feels like it's entirely stitched shut. Okie doke. Well, anyway, get back here. Well, the king of the comments is off. You're gonna go kick some. Yeah, go ahead. Go make some calamari. Have a nice rest of the stream. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for attending. I'm a squid now. Squid, squid. Oh God, excuse me, Sush. You have a very interesting resume. I'm the one writing an interesting... Yeah, no, and this is the amalgamation of 14 years worth of development and work. Fighting... I'm not throwing dust. It's like energy goo paste, kind of. Like a beam. Like, imagine a sort of non-Newtonian thing that exists in both the state as a plasma and energy that has a wet... They're not made of any... It is sci-fi. I've already explained that for this brief thing, I like the sound of neutron pistol, so it's going to be its own thing. It is a non-Newtonian paste-like mixture that is fired out like a beam and sort of evaporates into a state of energy after it hits its target, leaving no gooey residue. They're not just firing like jelly water pistols at people. Neutron literally means non-reactive. Ah! Why, science? Why? I'll cross that bridge when I get there. It's no big deal. It's a higher chance it will contract cancer. Very hot thermal shock. That works. I am sorry for scaring you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Coyote. I just have a lot coming at me right now. Sush is on a one-person quest to decimate my chat box here. Science is out to get me. I've got a sinus infection. I'm out of Coca-Cola. But yeah, I'll have to look into the science of that a little closer. But again, to the point that I had gotten to earlier, while I like to flesh out things as much as possible to make the nitty-gritty and the mechanics of things work, at some points it's science fiction, and just having stuff that sounds sciencey kind of works. Because if you're entirely science-based, then you're basically writing a report. You have to have a little bit of stuff in there just for style, just for personality, to set your universe apart. You don't have to explain it if it's far enough in the future. And while that is a little crummy, you don't want to take this advice, to the extreme and use it for world building. There are some things where that does apply, because you can end up overthinking yourself to a point where you're just not writing. Kujablitz? I have no idea what that is. What's that? What's it called on... The stuff a black hole is made... They're not shooting black holes at people, my god! It absorbs energy instead of mass. What it called on Star Trek? Technobabble, yes. Yes, Technobabble, the funnest of the fun. Red matter is something that came from the movies, and I absolutely hate the J.J. Abrams movies. They are fundamentally not Star Trek movies. I'm sorry. They're wannabe Star Wars movies, and then when he gets the chance to make Star Wars, oh boy, I can't stand the new ones either. And it's not a matter of I'm just some old curmudgeon sitting here going, back in my day, I don't like new stuff. Oh. It's just I don't like the writing in some of these new things. There's been reimaginings I like more than the original. Like I hope, like I don't want to delve into music because the last thing I want to do is create the he's a hipster comparison here. But I like the Proto Men's cover of Trooper more than the original one. It just has a little bit more gusto to me. It's sci-fi. Who cares? But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit. I know I have notes. I have years and years and years and years worth of stuff piled in my desk, all over my. This is just one stack of the stuff I've come up with for Infinity Quest. So I'm sure I delved a little deeper into the reason why I picked it, but I know the starting point was it sounded cool and I liked it, and then I did some research into it somewhere, so I'll be able to provide a better answer somewhere later. I will address the fact, Sush, but thank you for pointing it out to me. I will definitely look into that, and if it's something that is so sciencey breaking that it's absolutely ridiculous, I will go back and I will change it. So thank you very much for pointing that out to me. I will take your critique there with a small aneurysm, but I will take it there. Yeah, only small aneurysm, excuse me, just a small one. Only teeny tiny one. Because there's not too much unaneurysed brain matter up there left. I like that idea. I like that idea slightly less. Because at the time it sounded cool to me. Again, I will state that I started Infinity Quest when I was 12, so some of this stuff doesn't have the best understanding of anything behind it. And the neutron pistols themselves are alien technology, so it's not like humans have produced it and can provide for you a guide at how it works. There we go. Should have a Reese's Puff. The most delicious of guns. No! No, Sush, that was outlawed decades ago. It's too powerful. It is far too tempting of a weapon. The Reese's Pieces gun. Oh no, Reese's Puff gun. Oh, even worse. Oh, be still my heart. And thyroid. Oh, come on, Thesaurus. Laundry detergent that just makes or takes away the stain from one dimension to another. Oh God, no! That would start an interstellar, or excuse me, an interdimensional war where they're just like, "Why is all our clothes being destroyed? This is obviously an act of aggression." Alright, I'll leave you guys alone just a moment so I can take my dirty dishes out, because I started this having dinner. So don't go anywhere, and please enjoy the look of my empty seat. Be right back. I have returned. All right, laundry detergent. What was the screaming about? Oh, okay. The screaming about mozzarella was there were some mozzarella sticks out there, and my mom was asking if anyone else wanted them before she put them away. But they're 180 calories each. Excuse me, because they're the size of a hot pocket. They are impossibly huge. Power of that weapon. You have to imagine a Twinkie the size of Manhattan. A Twinkie the size of Manhattan? Wow. Okie doke. Oh God, well, I'm trying to think of a word here where all right, they've already gone through and I guess booby trapped the woods, and Plaid is catching on to that or acknowledging that fact. But I don't want to say trapped the woods. Chat, I go to you. Now is your time to shine. I need synonyms for that. Or how do I want to say that? Not ensnared. Snare, Mike. General Akbar. Okay, that is the second place comment for. I'm just gonna put that in here. Placeholder. General. Bird. Okay. For which again? For right here. Plot is realizing that these forces have already gone through and had the time to want to erect defenses and booby traps within this area of woods off to the west that they're trying to escape through. And she's announcing that fact. I'm sort of in shock since this is like within the span of a few... you Googled trap synonyms. And the one of the Google's definitions is a person's mouth. Oh yeah, I get it, the old 40s. Yeah, close your trap. I can see that. Right. But okay, yeah, she's sort of announcing the fact that the woods have already been in preparation for them rigged with traps. And I'm trying to think of... They've already trapped the woods. I'm trying to think of what you'd say there. Booby trapped I want to avoid because I've already used it once and I'm uncomfortable typing the first part of that. You know, I'm going to give both Sesra and Sush credit for that one, because that's what I was thinking there after Sush said ambush, so thank you both very much. We should bring back the hissing. I don't think she would here, because again, I want to set it up that Plaid does the hissing thing as sort of an intimidation thing, or sort of like a self-gratifying noise. It's not something that she's completely involuntary over. Kind of like the board, but they lead speak. Oh God, no, Sush, get out of here. You have been excommunicated from the group. I'm sorry. You are a sin. No, you are an abomination. Coyote, Sesra, please devour Sush. I hear she goes great with marinara sauce and meatballs. Oh, Coyote says, no, because she has not. She has already eaten too much. Sesra says, because she has not eaten enough. Joke's on you, I'm barely even a snack. Joke's on you, Sesra's really hungry. Sesra might not look like it, being 3 foot tall and having hollow bones, but she is actually the muscle of my operation and has fallen people at least 7 foot tall and 400 pounds. She is a savage killer, even though she doesn't look like it. She is secretly that Reese's Pieces gun. She is a war crime waiting to happen. Three feet, hollow bones? Too many questions. Shh. What is Reese's Puff? You've never heard of Reese's Puffs? Oh yes, I am so secret weapon. Yes, you are, Sesra. But Reese's Puffs is basically, you know the Reese's Cups, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Imagine that made into a cereal. It's... I cannot describe it to you. You need to go to Walmart and buy it, and buy a lot of it. There's no need to thank me. Just buy it, and you will love it if you like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. It does kind of look like a rabbit turned around and just decimated a bowl full of milk, though. So, visual aspect wise, Reese's Puffs are not the most appealing thing to look at, but they are delicious when you enjoy them. Oh yeah, Sush gets the idea. I'm eating asshole. Yes, you are, Sush. Well, the byproducts of a rabbit one. Coyote's just crying. I know. It's hard to be in the same room for me, or with me for this long. And God bless you. God bless you all. You're troopers. One of the snake people be... That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. But no, they weren't expecting this to happen. Pretending to be a... Oh. Okay, no, I misread that. And every... No, okay, you had me, then you lost me, Sush. Y'all... Get out of here. No, you are rebanished. Sesra, devour her a second time, please. Sesra is just basically the Stand By, or like, has anyone seen Stand By Me? Like, Chopper, get him. Sesra is basically my Chopper. She has that feral, scabby, hungry look in her eye, which is the slightest hint of insane seasoning. You don't understand the potential, Caleb. No. Usually when it ends with a woo, the potential withers and dies. I am not qualified. Oh, Sush, stop this. You are really killing me here. I think I have achieved terminal 7 cancer somewhere in my body. This is the last written Wednesday. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm dying. Tell my girlfriend I love her. Oh wait, that's right. I'm a guy who lives alone with no friends and family. I'm coming, Lord. Oh boy, I see a tunnel. Life well lived, am I right? A male reptile with a little mustache pretending to... Hang on here. My brain's sending me a 404 message. Something's not computing. A male reptile with a mustache pretending to be a female by role-playing, and he's wearing a wig with lipstick. So the mustache is just natural. It's He he hasn't even bothered shaving. My God, my book's gonna have the piss taken out of it, and it's not even been released yet for professional critics to ruin. Oh no! My 14 years, can I have them back, please? And nobody notices, and somehow he's become the president of Earth? Oh God, Zoosh, you have such copious amounts of faith in me. Steals a gun and runs away. Way to go, Zoosh. You have fallen. Poor Coyote Feather. A dirge for her in that she died so young. She had so much to live for, like watching me verbally hang myself further the more I film these. One second, please. Tissue, come here. And furthermore, excuse me. Including the lizard people who thought he was a human and were trying to have him assassinated. You've written, like, Serpent Avatar in the chat, and I don't know whether I dig it or I'm taking this as a personal slight. But I know one thing's for sure. I live in Florida, so I am going to call someone right now on the phone, and I am going to have you Baker acted for psychiatric evaluation. You are a danger to yourself, society, and more importantly, streams. You must be stopped. They were aware of the whole plan, but they just got forgot. Well, given their nature, Rolfians will sell out one another just for the sake of their own perseverance. Anyway, I think I'm going to end it here because I think I've been streaming for about 2 hours now. This is by far my longest stream, and I think... excuse me. I burped grossly into the camera. I thank you all for attending for as long as you have. I really hope you enjoy these. I'm really, really glad that you like either just hanging out and talking and making jokes or watching me write or getting the little nuggets of wisdom I occasionally drop in these. But thank you very much for being a part of these. From my heart to yours, I appreciate it. And despite the joking, I do hope this will be an enjoyable book when it's eventually done. So thank you all very much, and I think I'm going to call it a night. Yeah, no, that's basically me in the chat. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. It has been my utmost pleasure. It is an honor and a privilege, and thank you again, because I have no other synonyms to convey my gratitude. So, talk to you all later. It's been a blast. We've kicked some ass and written a little bit of story. So, maybe in another 15 years it'll be done. See you later.